All right. April 30th Sewer Commission meeting. It's in accordance with the requirements of the open meeting law. Please be advised, meetings being recorded and broadcast over at Lunenburg Public Access. Announcements. Do I have to read this verbatim? This is your little pitch? I'll do it.
Okay, yes.
It's time for new lawns and pool filling. I had to read it that way. If you're doing any of these activities this spring and need your water usage adjusted by the amount that never enters our pipes and goes on the ground or in your pool, check out the Sewer Commission website at lunenburgmass.gov and policies and procedures page for one-time billing adjustment requests. So basically, if you're doing irrigation or filling your pool, you fill out a form for the pool. At least I know you fill out a form for the irrigation. We have irrigation stuff like that. So go to the website and find out some information. Town meeting is this Saturday, 5/4/19 at 9 a.m. at the Lunenburg Middle High School. And town election is 5/18/19 at 7 a.m. at TC Passios. Appointments, just Jerry Laney at 7 o'clock.
Right, Dan, this Upland Ave one, they withdrew the request.
Okay. So
Jerry will be in at 7.
all right. So public comment, everybody?
Just one thing to make sure the, on this one that's not coming in, they changed their mind. In one of the communications, it mentioned, it's relative to an extension that somebody was thinking of doing within the sewer service area. Within the sewer service area, we haven't historically required to prove that it's not perkable. Because if you're in the sewer service area or in the service area, it's when you're outside the sewer service area that we need to see verification that you can.
So you don't have to prove that you can't support a septic, you can just do it?
If you're in the sewer
You
service.
can just tie in?
Yeah, that's right. At least that's the rule today. It may change in the future, but to date, there's never question that they're in the sewer service area, they have a need. So just wanted to clarify that for
Yeah.
everyone out there. Cool.
That was a known issue with that property, so I just got myself very much ledge.
Yes, yeah, that's why that one, under my question. Anyway, moving on.
All right. I&I third-party review. RFP was received 4/16.
Yeah, I was thinking we were going to review it tonight because we had one response out of the 4 that were sent. But I did speak with Heather, and the bids isn't necessarily public until the decision or the evaluation is complete. So I would recommend ask that we determine who might want to serve on that evaluation committee to review that and the next one on the agenda too.
So we need 2 commissioners?
In speaking with Jack, that was his recommendation. I had talked to Jack about being a part of it because he probably should be. So it was just a proposal. It was on the agenda actually to review, and then I realized we needed to evaluate first. So.
And Barbara, what is the timeline again for that to occur? When do we need to?
I don't believe, that was the I&I third-party review was fairly casual. It was not a formal, established dates, so I don't think there was. We had originally hoping that the work would commence in May, but it wasn't a defined bid like the other ones.
I do, Mr. Chairman, I do think we should start as soon as possible, but I don't think it's, as Barb said, there's nothing driving it other than perhaps wanting to address any funds this year that are available for it, so this year might be a factor. The other thing is, I'm not sure why we wouldn't just do this at a meeting. Not this meeting, because it wasn't really on the agenda. But.
Yeah, I had checked with Heather, and my concern is whether we have the monies in the budget at this point, so depending on the cost, so I thought the discussion maybe should take place in subcommittee versus on...
But I'm not sure why. I mean, it's still a public meeting. It has to still be posted. It's still a public meeting.
Well,
You can't
not
establish it.
necessarily.
If it's a subcommittee, yes, you have to. No matter, even if it's a 2-person subcommittee, you have to post it, it becomes a, you know, open meeting law issue. So I would suggest we just do it in the meeting.
On 5/14? Okay. All right.
Karen?
Yeah, we can put it on there.
Okay, I will.
Maybe I'll remove it. See how big the gender is. I mean, it's not super duper hot, right?
But can it be distributed to us in the meantime?
I haven't even opened it. It's still sealed. It's just one.
It's
Okay.
only one,
Yeah. You can have it, yeah, you just don't obviously reply all to everybody.
Oh, yeah, no, I wouldn't, I just.
Yeah. And then, next is the RFP for O&M contract. Is this kind of the same thing? Where you were
Yes.
thinking maybe do it?
This was just actually after speaking with Heather and trying to determine that we probably, should have an evaluation session outside of the meeting, just to, and we don't have to again, but we could do it on the 14th as well.
Sure.
The deadline is on the 1st, so we should have the bids hopefully by tomorrow.
Okay.
So just do everything on the 14th?
Yeah, just put them on there.
All right.
Solar credit program. You sent the next stamp an email, you said at 4/16?
Can I just
Yep.
go back 1 second?
Of course.
I would like to just suggest or invite Jack to attend because of both of those. Okay.
Jack's more than welcome to come in.
I know, I just wanted to make that a point that I feel like he should be a part of it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sorry.
No problem, sorry. I'm talking over, you taking notes too. Sent next stamp an email 4/16 that we participate in the program. Per next stamp 4/22, new proposal will involve other town electric accounts.
Yeah, I think I forwarded you the email on that. We agreed at the last meeting on the 9th that we were proceeding with their proposal, and I had sent it to Nexamp to say so. He came back and said, puts us on the waiting list like the rest of the residents of Lunenburg, so he
got right
has another,
No waiting list for this guy.
you're somebody.
I'm a somebody.
Anyway, he has another proposal that he would like to put forward with other town accounts. So he wants to review all the usages with schools and with the other town accounts.
Is it all gonna be one account or something, or?
I think it's just a part of the
Okay.
usage and contract. So I was hoping I'd get something for tonight, but I think they want to meet with all the groups. So I will probably meet with Heather and John, and I think his name is Charlie Nutter from Nexamp, and go through things. They've already got our information on our usage.
Yeah, you sent it with Bill?
Yes, I did.
Good.
Mr. Chairman, my only concern is that we are, because of our delay to date, we kind of got to the bottom of a very long list on the one that was originally proposed. There's like 80 people snuck in between us between when we started talking about it and now, which is great because of good participation by Lunenburg residents, but our delay didn't help us there, but else we'd be moving forward. So I'd like to have some time limit on waiting for the rest of the town to identify its needs. Because I don't want to just keep getting pushed out and pushed out.
Did he say why we had to wait for the rest of the town?
I think it's part of the proposal, that all the other accounts in town would also be a part of this credit program. So that's...
Yeah,
Can you
but,
ask them if we have to? 'Cause
Yeah, I was gonna say the same
towns have
thing.
been for several months and they still haven't wrestled with the ground.
I'm also curious if we have to, because it's kind of a different, we don't fall under like the town accounts with stuff like that. If we're an enterprise, we do our own thing.
Right.
So why would we have to, I don't know why we'd wait for the same accounts when we're separate from them.
they can almost look at us like a resident, kind of, where we're doing our own stuff.
Right. Maybe quantity, that's all.
Maybe.
Better.
But maybe we can ask the question.
Volume, okay.
You can copy me on it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd hate to lose our spot on the waiting list and then we
Yeah.
can't participate in the new,
Right. Oh, I
Program.
believe we're in. I mean, we're there. They know
Okay.
we were interested. We were ready to sign it. And he just came back and said,
So this next amp we said to wait?
yes.
So maybe we just tell next amp, no, we're not gonna wait, just, we just like to sign it. We're not-
Maybe he doesn't realize that we're not a part of the
Right.
town when it comes to that type of stuff.
Could just be that.
So we'll actually get them from the project that's in Townsend, and send an email?
Yeah. The other, yeah, and I believe there were other, we were gonna be waiting anyway on the other, solar fields, so I'm not sure it's an additional delay or just a different program.
It says it goes online later in the year anyway, but they want all purchased ahead of time,
Yep.
I suppose.
All right, trap fog audit discussion. They just were sent out for
Yeah.
10.
The letters were sent. The next step is to kind of coordinate the audit itself. I'm concerned still, or if there's not a rush on the I&I third party or whatever, I'm just concerned as we get closer to the end of the year, our funds are more limited, and we had not, I don't believe, budgeted for this project originally. So that's just something to be concerned, and to add into the list of concerns. What I would like to do, the problem is that in order to send out our annual permit letters, we really need to determine the compliance. So I am going to be heads down on billing and meter updates for this at least the first half of this month. And what I wondered, our next meeting is the 28th. And I didn't know if I could ask a commissioner to put together a scope on performing those audits that we could review on 5/28.
It's kind of like an audit plan type thing.
Right. So we either need to go with inside, having Jack do it, or one of his folk, or have Small Water or another contractor. So we just need to have a scope of what we're asking before we can go out.
Well, we did this several years ago. What did we do that?
It was Small Water.
And I went
For internal.
for
and-
observation on some of them, but,
Yeah, so they'd be familiar. I just, I would like to have a defined scope to provide to them, because we need to know what they're going to charge for it.
Yeah.
We're close to the end of the year.
Yeah,
And I
Mr.
just
Chairman,
wanna make sure.
I've been thinking about this and the scope and funding. And I think putting together a document of what we want done at the business would be very appropriate.
Well, yeah.
To get them, so that we know, we're going to check this, we're going to do that.
You should sit down if you want at the table. You want to sit at the table, you can. You guys.
This is the sewer commission?
Yeah, yeah.
It's not clear to me really that we need to pay someone to go along with this. I think if it's a commissioner or two and Jack or one of his guys, maybe even Barb, and we had a checklist, because it's not that detailed. It's, look at the log, look and see if what's supposed to be posted is posted. Look at the external things. Personally, I don't envision opening up grease traps or opening up manholes for covers outside. It's more just an audit. So I don't know basically.
right, okay. I don't remember how it's worded I don't remember if it's in our bylaws, but it would be the sewer commissioner or an agent would be performing an audit. I mean, can we as sewer commissioners these days go and do the audit ourselves?
Well, as far as I know, last time you did it and to now, nothing's changed.
I'm still waiting for them to come in. I've been here a year. I've never seen Small Water come in. And I drive by, I see the trucks at the pump stations. Like, what are they doing?
Do you wave?
I don't want to wave. But
I think I know,
Are they supposed to come in every quarter, or?
Yeah.
if as needed,
Mid-year, midterm?
is the way it.
So,
I would like to.
Yeah, I think when you had brought that up before, I thought we were going to wait until the ratepayers, we were going to call them in
Yeah.
anyway for the meeting with ratepayers, so we meet them then.
I see their trucks, I'm like, what are they doing?
yeah, they're always out there. So who wants to put together a scope for this?
You guys can collaborate.
Go through the regulations, just pick out the relevant things. So it's-
Yeah, I can put something together.
Cool. All right, John's gonna put something together. Thanks, John.
For 2020, was it? Or-
Yeah, whenever you want, whenever you get around to it.
That's why.
I think this is for 528, there's a scope review?
Yeah, if I can put it on the
Yeah, let's do the 528, so it gives you,
28 to review anyway.
gives you some time. Probably done audit plans in the past. Should be fine. I'm gonna move
Only for the nuclear industry.
not so much for the sewage. Same, right? What's the difference? I want to move the 7 o'clock to now. Jerry Laney,
Yes, hi.
how you doing?
Good, how are you? Good. I'm Jerry. Thank you for having me here tonight. Appreciate that. Just wanted to inquire about the possibilities of maybe looking at the sewer plan for the town to, possibly in the near future, get it swung down Chase Road, past our farm. You guys may or may not know that we have put in for APR for that piece of property there. So that will remain a farm no matter what happens in the future. I'm part of the third generation. My grandfather, my dad, my uncles were the prior two. They were primarily in the wholesale apple market for 40, 45 years. Much like most of the other agricultural commodities in the world, that market is toast, basically. It's impossible to stay in business and just do that. So we, the third generation, that's my cousin Lisa there, we have kind of changed what we're doing to be almost 100% retail. We've opened up the farm to the public for pick your own on just about every crop we grow. We now put in a CSA program, we're going to farmers markets, we're doing all that kind of stuff. And we're dabbling in that ag tourism, for lack of a better word. Yeah. Everything that we do becomes a challenge. We've had a myriad of ideas of things we could do. We've had customers saying, oh, you guys should do this, and you guys should do that. And every time, these ideas come up, it comes down to the same problem every time. We've talked to Bridget over at Neshoba. Without public sewer, without public water, we can't do 3/4 of the things that we've thought of that we could do to enhance the business. We've had a bazillion ideas from, ice cream to coffee, farm-to-table dinners, possibly breakfast or lunch services, revamping the concessions because we can't really make things without Board of Health approval. We've even gone as far as thinking winery, all kinds of different ideas. None of these are anything that we've, thought out completely because we know we've got Board of Health restrictions on a lot of it. And yeah, it would take sewer and water to satisfy most of the issues that Bridget has brought to our attention. We know that, so I just figured I'd start here with you guys. There's several homes on that property. My father's, my uncle's, all of them would gladly tie in to sewer and water. Their septics are, aged, we'll call it, and it would be helpful for them to be able to tie in. I'm sure some of the other businesses that would potentially be able to hook in would do it. I spoke to Donna at Central Mass Garden Center. She wanted to come with me, but she would love to see that happen because she's had events at her place as well, with, all kinds of restrictions on what she can and can't do. The thing that would be great for the town, I don't know if any of you heard about the meeting that the Visit North Central Mass put on. They work with the Chamber for North Central Mass. They did it about a month ago. The tourism. The tourism breakfast. One of the big things that they talked about at that meeting was how much money tourism in general dragged in to the state. For the entire, what was good about this meeting is they actually broke it down to some smaller towns, but it's the third largest industry in the state is tourism. And it generated $1.5 billion in state and local tax revenues for the towns in the state that were involved. But they broke it down. In Central Mass alone, it was like 3.35 million in local tax revenue. That's not just from a farm, that's from everything that a traveling tourist might spend money on, whether it's fuel or lodging or, you know, going to an event, whatever they spent their money on that was taxable. Then they broke it down even further. They actually pulled a couple of cities out of it, one of which was Fitchburg, and the other was Gardner. Now, I know the Fitchburg number is going to seem slightly skewed and high, but I'm guessing that's because of Great Wolf that produced a ton of revenue.
Well, they're the number one attraction in all of Central, or
Right.
right now.
But they're within throwing distance to Lunenburg. I mean, people could go lodge there and come here easily. But this is from 2017. These came from MOT, the Office of Travel and Tourism from Massachusetts. Where's my page? There we go. In Fitchburg, in 2017, it was $930,000 worth of local tax revenue that Fitchburg got from tourism, basically. But Gardner, which doesn't have Great Wolf, which was the other city they did, had about $240,000. Tourism brings money in, and Massachusetts is actually a pretty big hub for it. We rank like 12th in the country for this tiny little state that we're in. We rank 12th out of all the 50 states that we have here. So we want to be able to be part of that chunk. We want to be able to expand our ideas on things that we could do, to get people to come visit our town here. This town has a ton of great farms that would benefit from being able to expand like this. Stillman's, Steve right around the corner from us, he would welcome the ability to sell and do other things and bring people here. It would help us, and I believe that it would help the town, bringing in some tax money, which obviously we know we need with all the things going on.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if there was any way to, you know, formally ask you to consider it, or however that process works. I'm not very familiar with the process.
You're starting off, coming here and kind of try to figure out the process, right?
Yeah.
So has Jack looked at maps and things like that to see how feasible it would be?
Did you?
To bring sewer? I don't know if we talked.
No, I hadn't got that far yet.
Yeah.
How far off from the sewer service area?
I believe it comes up Northfield towards us.
Well, I think Beal is probably, well, the
comes-
sewer is actually
I might be getting
Beal
confused.
and, Beal and Mass Ave.
Yeah.
This is Beal. This must be
The sewer service area covers
Lonnie's
Beal
property right
Street,
here.
Okay.
meaning it can be sewered, but it's
Right.
not yet.
But it does also come down,
Right.
Yes, Northfield.
Yo, Beal, that's
to
what I'm
the-
talking about, yeah.
To the Turkey Hill.
yeah.
It comes to the fire station.
Right. You could come down from Beal, or you could come from the backside, either way.
How many acres
This is
there?
Beal.
But, that we farm about 80 of it.
It stops right there?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's close to 90 overall, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we farm about 80 of it.
That's the price tag.
Yeah.
It's not doable as far as, so if it ends there on Beal.
I'm guessing you pick up a bunch of those houses all along the way.
Yeah, you try to get as many houses as you can because you have to pay for
Sure, no, I get it.
crazy piping, right?
I get it,
So,
yeah.
yeah, you gotta get as many houses. You said you have some people already on there.
Yeah.
But they're on your property, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, their houses are cut out, but their family, they're butters, yeah.
So we don't even really, what do we, I want to see, I'm all for it, for you guys to find.
Well, I mean, the town was generous enough to help us in the APR process as well, from working with Michelle Padula over at APR. She said, I don't know the exact numbers and figures, my uncle's dealing with that separately from me, but I know that you guys are you know, kicking in something for that process to happen. So to me, it would almost be like an investment to have us be able to build that property up to what we want it to be, and we think it can help the town. Everything we're gonna that we plan on doing, trust me, it's family oriented. We're not, gonna, start raising marijuana farms and all this other nonsense. This is all family oriented stuff that we wanna do to bring folks here. peacefully.
If I might. Just the way the process works, and there's always new creative ways to do things. And
Sure.
I'm happy you came tonight, there's some interesting stuff. Everything that's been done to date has been done on betterments. So it's been paid for by the people who were bettered by it. So whatever it passes on the street,
Yep.
shares the total cost based on units that are determined through an equation, how many units. So, your property is pretty big, so you'd have a lot of units, probably. I don't know the equation, but, so, the town doesn't really hasn't, to this date, actually funded any sewers.
Okay.
It's all paid for by the people who are serviced or could be serviced by the sewer. So that's the way it works.
Okay.
Clearly, so the enterprise fund has never discussed and it's never brought up of us pushing it out. Matter of fact, it's just the opposite, where, we have always taken the position that we wait for people like yourself, which is great, to come forward and say, you have an interest, what can we do? So you could look at, trying to get first accepted into the sewer service area based on the kind of things you're talking about, who would be serviced, how it would benefit the town, because the town has to approve that. Just for your information, and you might want to look at the comprehensive wastewater plan, which the town paid a lot of money to put together, and that's what defined the sewer service area. And it's all based on need, and need being pretty much defined by, you can't put a septic in. You can't do a local on-site solution.
Does that extend to businesses?
The other thing there was, when we did the comprehensive wastewater plan, there were 2 areas in town that were identified as business development areas. I'm trying to remember the term, but basically business development areas. One was over towards Leominster, where the Goulas was in that area. The other one that was proposed was down on Chase, I think further past, where you are, further down.
Towards Townsend?
Towards Townsend, was proposed as a place to try to pull industry and business into, and it was known that you wouldn't do that without sewer. I mean, that's a big enabler. Unfortunately, there was, during the investigation, there was so little interest, I guess, the planning board came back to us and said, forget that area. We're not even going to look to put that in the sewer service area. So I would think based on that, it might not be so tough with the right arguments to get the town to agree to extend a sewer service area. The thing that the town is very sensitive on, and why they spent a lot of money on the needs assessment, was at that time, there was a push to just continue sewering the town. Just a multi-phase program to sewer the whole town. And the residents got very concerned about that. That development after development wasn't what the people were looking for, and so they supported restricting. And in some case, we intentionally limited the sewer service area because there's a big plot of land that was prime for development. So those are, just to give you the background, so those are the kind of things that you would want to be able to handle the questions and arguments and
Sure.
convince that, no, this isn't what you were afraid of, this is what you want. more
Right.
business and more tax revenue.
And like you just said, the land won't be developed, it can't, once the APR restriction goes through, so.
Yeah, and that would be a huge plus.
Yeah.
You need to look at everything between, there and here, just to make sure the unintended consequences are controlled. But
Sure.
there's some ways we can do that in regulations too, which we've done. You can sort of restrict how far back you can bring the sewer and things. So those things can be handled in a good open discussion. But it all starts with somebody like yourself, seeing a good justification that the town would consider. I know there's people further down the road that have brought this up recently.
Well, they have, okay.
Do more things, but no sewer, no water.
Right.
But the sewer commission historically, we can change that, has played more of a supportive role. This is what, would be if there was interest, then, we would help, with the DPW, we would help facilitate, getting an estimate, of what kind of money we're talking about, because again, it has to be paid for somehow, historically, by the people that could benefit. Nothing says the town couldn't say this is just such a wonderful thing, we're going to find some money somewhere, but pretty sure it wouldn't be out of the sewer enterprise fund.
Right.
But who knows?
Well, yeah, it'd be tax benefits town, right? So yeah, it would be tax.
Town would be able to-
Yeah, the town could help. You have to ask them. So our role really isn't, so we don't really vote yay or nay.
Sure.
To add use to it, but like Carl said, like with Audra Sprague, who didn't know anything about this type of stuff, we helped her through the whole thing and got it to town meeting and got it voted in, so she became a part of the sewer service area and stuff like that.
Question for you. Let's just, for the sake of argument, let's just say you came down from Beale Street and you went all the way to Northfield. Isn't there a lot going on Northfield now as far as construction going the other way towards Fitchburg? Wouldn't they possibly benefit if you just kept going down Northfield as well?
Probably, I mean-
Because you also have the golf course right around the corner, who I'm sure would love to be able to do more there as well.
Yeah, just the history there, though, that's part of the unintended consequences side of the equation.
Really?
There's more development.
But it's already happening, is all I'm saying. Oh, then they
A lot of
won't,
land that's available right now.
oh, on Northfield?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I gotcha. So I get what you're saying. No, I hear you. I hear you. I was just thinking as far as people who would pay in to hook in, is where my mind was, but I get what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah, that's where your mind needs to go.
Yeah, that's a big thing around here, I hear you, I hear you, I hear you.
So what can we provide them with that'll help move us along a little bit? Because obviously we're not going to meet town meeting Saturday, we're kind of trying to get a vote going or something like that. And I don't know, do we know if businesses really need to do the whole perk test and septic?
I think if it's, I think if it's for business, like industrial park and business driven, that's a different thing. We didn't ask any of those questions, the town planner at that time said, here's an area we'd like to encourage industry to. We want to put it in the sewer service area. We were prepared to do that, but they pulled it off for some reason. So yeah, if it's non-residential, then I don't know that perk needs to be what it is.
Still needs to go to town meeting to vote though, right?
Yeah, it needs to go to town meeting to vote, and it is an awful lot of work to do, to justify, to find out who's around you, and, what the real benefits are.
Sure.
It would take more than I would think, one piece of property that's dedicated to a very nice group of birds, but on the other hand, what we're looking for is more new industry coming into town, and, really having some significant benefits.
But isn't that a catch-22 from what you just said about developing? Or you don't want homes, but a business would be okay, further up on 13?
Homes, every town I've ever looked at and has done a lot of work, and when I was on the finance committee, we did a lot of work. Houses cost the town money.
Okay.
You do not get enough tax from
Sure.
the house to pay for the cost of the town. So, although residents are not trying to kill them, you don't want, big developments are going to hurt your tax base. You're going to pay more taxes.
Gotcha.
Infrastructure, schools.
Yeah. Okay.
So what can we do to help?
This is the first for me, so just a little guidance would be great, yeah.
So this is the type of information that we did, and
I think it's more
that
than
last time.
I think it's more the town and the planning, because I presume the planning board and the board of selectmen, are aware of other, there may be 3 or 4 activities like yourself who haven't come to us in that area that, could get together. I would go with the planning board, because they do the zoning and the planning, the land use director. His big part of his job is to work on economic development, which this is. And that is his job, that's part of why we hired him. So I would start with him, maybe.
Okay.
Planning board with multiple businesses that you have that you don't want to tie in and want to do the same thing around you. I would, set that up. I'm going to assume they have sewer commission support unless anyone said otherwise at the table.
You've got to start somewhere.
Right, yeah. So, you'll have our backing saying, we're all for this and we want it to happen too.
Great.
I don't know, should help. Hope. If we said no, it'd be a problem.
Sure.
The process.
Yeah, we can help you.
And help if whether, at some point, there's going to have to be a cost estimate, so.
Sure.
figure out what area, how far, and then we can certainly help with scoping and identifying what potential issues there are that we have to
Do you
contain.
think it's too early to reach out to Jack and see if he can pull up maps and see what the...
I think it's more developing the business case.
Yeah. So go through the planning board stuff first?
Yeah, I think so. Because you can make it happen,
I mean, basically, Jack would be pulling,
Yeah, no, it's just my,
Jack would be basically pulling up this map.
Yeah.
Taking a look at it.
Do you guys happen to know where the water is? I know you're not the water people, but do you know where, as it relates to our property, where the water lines are offhand?
It comes down Beale Street, I know that.
It is, oh, there is water at Beale. So in theory, you could come from Beale with both, in theory. Yeah.
If it goes down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever makes the most economical sense, what you want to try and...
Yeah. Yeah.
Online, are there layers on the assessor's map for water?
Water, I don't think so.
They got
I don't think I found it.
Fire department.
I would get,
Yeah, the big map of the fire
Yeah.
department shows you all the water lines going through town.
Oh, it's probably good.
they have meetings.
Okay.
I don't know if it's online, it should be.
The water district, because it's just as important, right?
Certainly, one without the other would still be troublesome, right? Yeah.
And they're outside the town government, they're a water district.
Right, but I think cost-wise, it would make sense to do it at the same time if it were to be approved, because you're only digging once, right?
I think you can't lay them in the same line.
They're not the same hole.
Really? Interesting, okay.
And it is a state highway, so you would probably want to do it at the same time, though.
Yeah,
Yes, yeah, do it at the same time. but
Sure.
not-
I got you. Yeah.
I definitely see your place like a Carter Stevens, almost like a Stone Cow Brewery.
I hear you. There's been so many ideas that we've had over the years. Her and I just sit there and dream. But if, obviously...
Farm brewery is huge.
Yeah, if the development rights
Yeah.
get taken care of, and then the state is actually very generous as far as grants and loans and
Yeah,
things of that
yeah,
nature
yeah.
after the fact, to do some of these things. But again, I go back to, we've got plenty of parking, so we're not going to cause a problem for the town, the residents in the area, or anything like that. But if, just to try to expand it, because we really actually need to get out of the wholesale apple business. Basically, we just keep losing money year after year. It's the same as dairy, it's the same as what happened to chickens and, all that. So I feel for all my farming friends around town. I know what they're going through, as far as, the dairy guys go. Steve's got the right idea over there, around the corner from me. Just about everything he's doing is retail related, and it's working for him. Even though, I'm hearing farmers markets are getting more difficult, we do them as well. Every town has at least one in the whole state. Some of them have multiples if you get closer to Boston. So you're actually, it was a catch-22. The state was doing a great job promoting these things. We have places for farms to go to sell their stuff, but it almost went a little too far, because now a market you were going to, that you were coming home with, $1,500, $2,000 for the day. Well, there's 3 other markets in town. And so now, what are you doing? You're coming home with 500, but you gotta send a whole other truck and team out. And so it's getting more and more difficult and challenging.
Harvard doesn't have a market. Harvard's market's gone.
Harvard,
Mass.
yeah.
Now Shirley's was gone.
Westford went away last year.
Yeah, Shirley's is gone, and now it's coming back in a different location.
Yeah,
So it's-
the farms are getting spread out. They're not coming home with enough to warrant sending folks out there with, employees and trucks and this and that, as costs keep going up for everything that we do. So it's becoming more of a challenge. I know maybe 15, 20 years ago, when you went to Copley in Cambridge, you were coming home with buku bucks, and you can ask Steve, you go now, it's half, not even half what he was getting 15 years ago there, because there's 5 other markets in Cambridge all week long. So people used to, kind of aggregate there on that day that market came, but now, I'll just go to the other one tomorrow. And
Right.
so you're all over the place. So it's becoming challenging. So to me, my thought is not to not do those things at all, but if we can get people to just come to us you know, park them, have them enjoy themselves, have a good time, spend some money and go.
Benefits the town too, more people come in,
Yeah, yeah,
more money,
yeah.
which we need.
I hear you, I hear you.
So the Lunenburg Farmers Market, we're trying to get, and the Meadow brings their alpacas.
Yep, yep.
We're trying to do some displays this year, some cooking demos. It's a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
You know, once a week.
Right.
June to October.
Yeah, I know you guys had reached, the market had reached out, but it's a tough day for us to come. We're-
It's the same town, I get it.
Yeah,
It's almost
yeah.
competition, yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough day for us to come. I mean, and, you know, down the road, I'm looking for, once we, you know, can get things going, I'm looking forward to actually working more closely with the town. The schools, we've had, you know, a few field trips here and there, but the school systems, getting kids out to the farm instead of sitting on their phone all day, you know, stuff like that. So hopefully, you know,
We had a workshop on this about ag tourism.
yeah,
It's kind of, but, you know, we mentioned farm to table, but, okay, where?
right.
You know, it's gonna cost you, and if we abandon the Ritter, that was one thing. Somebody said a distillery, and it's just like,
We've got plenty of space, that's for sure. And
it's a startup, it's,
yeah, there's plenty of things we can do. I mean, I didn't want to freak any of the neighbors out. I don't know if anyone drove by. We took out a big block of apples right on Northfield. Everyone's having a heart attack in Collin. But that, I mean, that kind of goes with the getting out of that wholesale apple market. I mean, I don't need 75 acres of apples for pick your own. So, and they're just costing me money. So early spring, we just went out there with a front end loader and just tipped them and flipped them and got them out of there. And he used that field this year, so it's not at all a waste. I'm just gonna plant pumpkins, but there's a lot of things. It's like a blank canvas when there's nothing there every spring. You can plant anything. Even the, you know, crazy winery thoughts, because we threw in some seedless grapes that have come in that we're selling now and letting people pick. But even this, you know, thoughts of winery, getting back into cider. We used to make it years and years ago there. But again, we ran into water, sewer, and then all the issues with the state and the freakouts about bacteria and this and that and pasteurizing, and, you know, my father and my uncle said, nah, that's enough, we can't do it anymore. And so we just kind of farmed that out to another farm who could do it, over in Harvard. The Carlsons made cider for us forever. And even they sold that business off.
yeah, they have a processing plant in Leominster.
In Leominster, right. But Frank's come right back around to thinking the same way we're thinking. He's got more people coming to his place now. He opened a hard cider mill over there. And he's got tourists coming for his hard cider product, along with picking apples, picking peaches, picking, you know. Yeah, yeah.
Booze brings people.
Beer and wine.
Yeah, I mean, we've avoided that over the years, but, you know, down the road, if you do it right.
Especially the craft beers and all that crazy
Yeah.
stuff they have now. You can have every fruit you have on there, can have a flavor.
Yeah,
It's-
yeah.
It's nuts.
Or even the wines, the guy we work with for our corn maze that we've been doing for about 3 years now, he's out of Pennsylvania. He helps us with the design and the cutting of it and all that stuff. He has a winery at his place. He has a farm himself. And he uses all the fruit from the farm. So he's got peach wine, he's got this wine, he's got that wine, he's got the other wine. He's got the fruit, and so he just made it. You know, so they're all things that can happen. It's just, you know, which way do you want to go first, or kind of thing.
So
But
it's
simple
probably-
stuff.
But next town meeting, usually what, fall time, when they do the special town meeting?
Yeah, I'm sure there's gonna be a fall town meeting.
So you have time, so it has to go to town meeting. It's-
Sure, no, I get it.
Yeah, so you gotta, so yeah, start with the planning board.
So just reach out to them?
Yeah, reach out to them and say exactly, we came to sewer commission, you know, they want us to do this, you know, we know we have to talk to multiple boards to, because you're a business and you're.
Sure.
planning, and kind of pitch it to them, bring other businesses along with you.
Certainly.
Other people who want to do the same thing in your area, that are outside the sewer service area, they'll help the case. And then in the meantime, we can kind of help with supporting what kind of stuff you need, documents, if you need any documents or anything like that. And just, you know, just keep reaching out
Excellent.
with, if you need advice and stuff like that, just keep hitting us up.
No, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Yeah.
I look forward to it, I hope it happens. I mean, I think it'll pass through town meeting.
And like anything else, it takes a while, I get it.
You want more support,
steps.
the AgCom is the third Thursday of every month.
Okay,
We meet at the Ritter.
at the Ritter, okay.
At 7 is more support for you.
Great, great.
I think the key support we could give would be
try to foresee any issues that the town might have and
Sure.
kind of head them off.
Yeah,
You know,
ease the
there are
tension.
plans that does pass.
Do they have, they must have had water and sewer over at Stillman's by now, no?
Not sewer.
Not sewer, just water?
Sewer.
Yeah. Yeah, because I know they're trying to do more, getting people to go to their place, and God bless them.
Sewer just shuts you down like that.
It's, a lot of it's water too.
I can see the water.
It depends what you want to do, but
Yeah.
water's a biggie. And then to get a well certified by the state, I mean, holy Moses. It's like an act of Congress.
Probably worse, 'cause
Yeah, all the testing and all the,
there are
yeah.
some pretty, if it was only you, and we're looking, bigger than that, but if it was
Yeah.
only you, then I would be in parallel looking at, some very small processing system to
Yeah.
process sewer, wouldn't let that hold me up, because sewer's pretty expensive.
Sure.
The sewer end is very expensive.
Sure.
And the rates aren't cheap either.
Mm-hmm.
They're, the state are pretty high, unfortunately. And if you're planning on using lots of water, you're going to pay lots of.
Right.
So,
Well, they would have, they use lots of water now, is it?
Depends what you do.
Yeah, because they would have, you have to get certain meters and stuff, so you're not paying for the water.
Sure, I mean, my thought would be that for ag-related stuff outdoors, that, doesn't come out of the building kind of thing, we could probably still use the well.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You don't pay water rates.
Yeah, and only for like, things we might do to remodel a building inside use.
Town charges for everything.
the only concern I have is, let's say the town thinks this is a great idea, wants to expand the sewer area. Does a 2/3 majority rule still apply? Or can the town override that? I mean, the residents or landowners wanting the area sewered.
But I think that always,
I think we're confusing two things, maybe.
Okay.
One is,
You can say it
it has to
applies.
pass at town meeting to extend the
Right.
sewer system, and that's
Right,
just
the
the
sewer.
majority.
Right.
Okay. So if you're looking for a private extension, we require 2/3.
Okay, that's only for private
I believe
extension.
so. I think town meeting is just a majority vote.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, so do a little recruiting with the other area businesses that we've talked to and contact planning board would be the next
And the water
step.
department.
And the water, yes.
district, I
Yeah,
think.
definitely. Yeah, you're gonna want to do the same thing with the water
Certainly.
department. Yeah.
Certainly. Well, that sounds good.
But
Got to start somewhere, right? Got to start somewhere. It was very nice meeting you. Thank you very much. It was great. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Thank you. You're Barbara, right?
Yes, I am.
Put a face to the name on the email.
That's, I
Thank you.
know, right.
All right. Thanks a lot. When did you say that ending was?
Third Thursday.
Third Thursday. Thank you. Thanks. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. My son works there, I don't know if I was supposed to say that.
Full disclosure.
Full disclosure.
Okay.
They do a lot of, I would love to see that. I would love to see every
That's a
business
great idea.
do way more
The
stuff.
one in Barry is,
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Stone Cow,
Right.
it's a family farm, 8th generation, and they just,
I mean, when we used to live in Burlington, we didn't have any farms near us, so we had to drive to them, and it was just a cluster of people going through these places. It was fun, man. It's
the
fun to
one
look at.
in Barry is over 1,000 acres. So they PR, it's preserved, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Getting a big crop.
And a lot of people from Lunenburg go there,
Oh, I do.
so.
Yeah, that'd be awesome,
And
just like
Groton.
right down the street.
Do you think
Because ladies do a ton of
run
cool
into the
stuff.
same problem where we have too many farms?
We're just
so it's
sitting there
kinda-
talking, all right, I'm moving on. Annual town. Yeah, something's going on soon. Annual town meeting warrant articles. So we have Article 12, 13, 43 are our articles.
Oops, yeah,
And 11, 35, 36 affect us, but aren't our articles. I have no problem if I'm there for these articles talking to them. I know I did last year, I just know that my wife has to be in the meeting the entire time, and I have 4 children at home.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so she's there for the finance committee. So,
12
just like
hours.
last year, I was in and out last year, we sat together, I left, I came back, I left, I came back. So I don't want to commit fully and say, yeah, I'll definitely do these articles where I might not be there. So I don't know if you want to just take it on and just do it.
Or if I'm there, I'll walk up.
Look, what articles?
12 is the budget.
Yeah.
13 is capital reserve.
Right.
43 is withdrawal proposal for expansion of the sewer service area.
That's been taken out.
Oh, that's not in there anymore?
It's in the warrant because it was too late, but they did withdraw. So that's
So we don't
43.
care
And that's on the left.
So it's just 12 and 13. So I'll probably be there for 12 and 13. If I'm there, I'll just walk up because they're super easy. But if not, yeah, I just don't know what time. Who the heck knows what time it's gonna come on? I don't know which articles are before this.
Oh,
It's 40 something. 12 and 13.
11 and,
actually,
yeah,
that's
right.
pretty early.
It's after the budget.
Yeah, that's gonna take a while. Yeah, the whole meeting's gonna take a while. This is gonna be a.
For marijuana, before charter.
See why it's gonna be there all 12 hours?
Right, it probably will be 12 hours, man.
That's right, so. But it's before the.
Yeah, charter, marijuana.
Won't be that early.
And budget.
With the budget.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I won't even get there till 11 because the girls get gymnastics.
Should I,
Don't worry, we're there. Let me know you're there, so we don't go.
Yeah, I just come find you. You usually have your pile.
Yeah. About 2 piles.
You got papers everywhere.
Heather does want to know who's going to read the motion. So should I tell her you, or should
We'll
I
let her know in
say?
the morning, before the meeting.
Okay,
Yeah, we can just.
okay. All right, I'll let her know. It could be either one.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
I'm going to say, someone's going to. Don't worry, we'll have representatives there.
She has to know, say,
Yeah, if she has to know an actual name, then say Carl.
Okay.
Should probably read these articles, huh? Getting everybody. I glanced at them. All right. So then Article 11 is OPEB, and then 35 and 36 are the charter changes. So obviously those aren't our articles, but we have a piece of the pie there for all those. So I don't know if you guys need to talk any more about articles or.
well, that one, the one with the exclude or not exclude hasn't really gotten closed at the meeting. In February, we sat here and we talked about, and I think we were just about to vote to propose an amendment, which may or may not get accepted, to exclude sewer from the jurisdiction over.
Yeah. What is Mr. Rogers doing? Did we get confirmation? I know he was gonna he was doing some stuff like that to the charter. I don't know if it matters.
He's just.
But according to the town moderator, I could have sworn he said he couldn't amend.
Yeah.
It's
a lot
either-
of talk about it.
Yeah, I could have sworn you're not allowed to like amend certain things. It's either accept it or don't accept it.
No, that's not completely
I
accurate.
could have sworn Tim said that's how he was doing it.
Well, he had no choice, it's the law. The way our charter, I forget whether we're home rule, or there's 2 ways, and the way our charter is, the town's charter, it's not all take it or leave it. You can amend the floor, but you can only amend it within the scope of the change. So if there's a paragraph that they're not changing, you can't get up and ask to change it.
Okay, so since they're changing our section.
This section they are changing.
So you can
we
amend
get
that.
up and say, no, we'd like to.
Even if they're just like,
I think that was Dave.
They changed the select board to every section. Doesn't that kind of open it up to be like, well, you put select board, I'd rather it be this. And then just throw whatever you want.
It's gotta be within the scope thing. You'll say, well, that's,
Oh, yeah, well,
it's the same paragraph, but it's out of that scope. But in this in the paragraph we're talking about, they're deleting the library from being excluded. So they're touching the exclusions. So
it's
within the scope, I believe. Tim will make on the floor, our council.
So do you want to vote right now if we want someone to make the amendment on the floor?
It would be best if we all did, because I think we should. We did get the, ruling that, we are a town facility, so that was an out that Joan had kind of identified, well, maybe it doesn't apply to us at all, we don't have to worry about it. But it does. And council, looked at it, and matter of fact, after our last meeting, unfortunately broke up, council showed up, we had a very short talk about this. He said, it's not a big deal, even if, someone tried to exercise control, you probably could go back to prior practice, argue, but why have to assume 3 things? Why not just make it clean?
So do you have the proposed wording?
It was simply to add sewer commission to the exclusion.
And is the exclusion that the town manager having power over the sewer department?
Over the use and rental of
Sewer facilities, which technically are.
Council, you have it, and you have it by practice, but
I'm fine with it. I mean, it's not gonna really change anything. It's just gonna clear things up.
no.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like the town was doing anything with our facilities, we were just going anyways, so.
They never come into play.
I could not find, I tried, I was looking at the warrant, and I could not see that 4-2 is on there.
Yeah, it's 4.2I.
Right, but in the listing, I don't see that they proposed any changes.
Well, they did. They will be on council. I know for a fact that they will.
Okay, all right. I tried
Their
to
little
find-
summaries are, you know, the poor chairman, he was just
Yeah,
overwhelmed,
it's
you
a
can
lot.
imagine, with all this stuff moving all over
Right.
the place, so, you know, that might have been a category of, you know, not, you know.
Yeah, they did a great job though, didn't they?
Oh, yeah, no.
Coming
he
in
did
at the
a lot
meeting
of
when
work.
like all the stuff was already done, he was running those meetings.
Yeah, yeah. And he was, he kept it organized and.
It's not
was
easy.
overwhelming, so, I mean, if it's not, if you're right, if there's something else changed in the background that I'm not aware of, but Noel, a member of the committee.
Yeah, do you?
It's true.
I'm not aware of that. If it doesn't come up, then it's not an issue. We
Yeah,
couldn't
no, I
do it
was trying to
anyway.
highlight it, and I couldn't find it, so.
Yeah.
So, you want to make a
I'd
motion?
like to make a motion that we make propose an amendment at town meeting to add sewer as excluded in paragraph 4.2I of the charter.
I'll second. Any discussions? No? All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
All right. Carl, you want to make that amendment at the meeting?
Sure.
Yeah, you're pretty good at that stuff, so. I've seen your amendments at the meetings, they're smooth, man.
David.
No presentation.
No presentation?
Nah,
Oh, man.
not for this one.
You're gonna struggle through not having a presentation. You know you're gonna walk up there with that tablet. You want, you say no presentation.
Not for this one.
Not for this one. There's other ones that don't affect us. There'd be a presentation.
Well, they affect you, but,
Well, yeah, it all affects us.
all right.
Thank you, Carl.
You're welcome, sir.
Proposed agenda statement. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. I forgot about this thing.
We discussed it at the last meeting, and we voted, and we didn't have majority, so
So we kept it
it's
voting
back
in.
on this agenda.
So did we ever find out what exactly why the selectmen were doing it?
Yeah, it was a reaction to some public comments and concerns about, one of the examples was an agenda not specifically saying that a vote would be taken, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've
Technically, you're
complained
right,
about
but-
a lot of the agendas from the selectmen, and I don't really care, it's public record, but I've emailed Heather and Jamie a couple times where they had public hearings, but it wasn't on the agenda as a public hearing, and things like that, and I got pissed off about it, and I said, hey, I would have loved to have come to talk about this, but how would I have known that was gonna happen? So, I get it.
As the person who brought it, this person who brought it to us only because, it looked like, if it's like we were doing it, there's probably some good technical reason, and they're getting some coverage. So that's why I brought it to this commission and brought the sewer, and brought the conservation was adopted. I don't have a very strong feeling about it if other people do it one way or the other. I just wanted to make sure that we were aware of it and made a conscious decision whether.
Yeah, I honestly don't care, I mean, to be honest, I'm not gonna be chairman after this next election anyway, so. Whether you guys ask for it or not.
You gonna be on the commission?
I'll be on the commission, I'm not gonna be sitting in this chair.
I mean, it seems like town council says it's not necessary. If it's not necessary, let's just not add it. I mean,
It's not adding value, I don't care. And we can always come back and change it, that's just one of those things that doesn't really take much discussion. Cool, moving on. Minutes,
Minutes.
312, 326, 49, anybody have any changes to any of those?
312, I can't get my stupid computer to work here. The section, there was the part on the discussion with Ray Pierce, which was the first one, the appointments. I would like to add, there was some, I think, reasonable discussion on the interest of getting maintenance documented. And we went to software and all these things. I'd just like to have that mentioned here, that, one of the goals is to have a documentation procedure for maintenance.
So just add
And we
it.
can, we can go back and look at the right words or whatever, but yeah, that there was a discussion.
Right, there was a discussion, I think, nothing firm, but
No,
as a result of Wright Pierce project, something could come out, they could recommend something, or
Right.
whether we use the manhole project as a starting point, just to, as a repository.
Yeah, just to capture that we did talk about including, having the goal of having some structure that we would capture maintenance, we would document maintenance in, so we had a good track of all the maintenance of the system, just to capture that thought.
Okay. So we want to, so that's 312.
If I were to just add, during the summer, they will review the data and develop a draft maintenance plan with a documentation procedure, or do you want it more than that? Do you want?
I'm sorry, I was reading.
During the summer, they will review the data and develop a draft maintenance plan with a documentation procedure. Is that enough, or do we?
Oh, that's plenty.
Okay, is that,
The word documentation shows.
So that'll be the amended wording. So when we take a motion to approve with the added wording for the 312 minutes.
If Carl made the motion, that was his motion, I'll second that.
That was the motion. All right, that was the second from John. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
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 All right, 312 approved.
Okay.
Amendment 326, any changes?
I'll read my
This one
writing.
back here.
Were you writing it while you were back at the boat?
Yeah. You had the back of the boat, fixing the carburetor.
Oh, no.
Thank you, John.
Speedboat or?
Oh, new one, like new,
You got a new boat?
it's new to me. Got me.
Yeah, except for you. Probably no one else can get that ringtone at this table.
Could you document this interruption?
at 7:34? The Bruins scored.
That's probably what it was. That's the rules.
Oh, okay. In the public comment portion there,
The first part, or towards the end?
next to the last sentence, I
Okay.
think, where it talks about Dave inquired if the sewer commission is an elected body that is supervised by town employees. I think he said supervises town employees. He was looking to see if we supervised employees, which he knew we didn't,
Supervises.
but...
That supervises
Because this says,
is supervised?
is an elected body that is supervised by the town.
Okay,
employees.
that supervises,
Supervises, I think.
Yeah,
Town
I honestly
employee.
don't know, Carl, but
No, I have no idea.
at this point, what he said, I would have to listen to the,
Yeah, but maybe
Okay.
Jane, you could do that, and
So I'll wait on the 326.
unless we delete that sentence, I just don't want to have it in there quoting him wrong.
that way, right?
do you want to just delete it?
Can we delete it and it still reads correctly?
It would go, the commission's, this
Where is it?
commission,
Next last sentence under...
the first public comment. The commission discussed the wording of full jurisdiction over town facilities, and they have asked for town council's input on whether the sewer is considered a town facility. Dave added he is concerned about elected officials being responsible to the town manager and will be moving a few articles at town meeting regarding this issue. That's taking the sentence out. Is that,
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, it happened for sure.
It's fine.
okay, so we remove it. All right.
All right, we'll take a motion to approve with the amendment.
Make a motion to, go ahead, Carl.
I heard a so moved from Carl.
I heard as well. I'll second that.
John seconds. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
And 4-9, any changes 4-9?
Nope, we're not good.
4-9 is good.
You want to read it again,
Take a
Carl?
motion. What are you doing, John? Get that out of here.
Motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve the minutes from the 4/9/19 sewer commission meeting.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
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 Okay, those are the minutes. All three went through. Finance manager report. How's vacation?
It was great.
Welcome back.
Thank you. It was wonderful. Q4 billing and meter import, that is my focus for May. Did have a blip of hope that I would be able to update or upload all our meters, but Eunice, the woman, was on vacation as well before I went. They would do it for a mere $11,000, so I'm back to entering 900 meters, so. So that, and then the billing, so that's what I'm doing in May, if I ignore you.
$11,000 to enter.
Just for an import program, so.
guess
And
it's a way of
and
saying
it has it
people
on
wanna
the,
do
on
Yeah, right? Yeah,
their
let's give-
contents.
Give them a
that there's
crazy
mass
price so we
meter.
don't have to do this work.
Yeah, so, anyway, so that's my focus. The kickoff meeting for the maintenance plan is determined to be May 23rd at 10 a.m. I did get confirmation from Smallwater for their attendance.
I will not be there.
I won't be there, I have to work.
Okay, right, it was midday, so sorry.
I'm not doing it. I wasn't doing it midday either. It makes you feel any better.
It's not available, okay. The list of documents, Wright Pierce sent me request for a list of documents, Carl also asked for some. Jack had made a request that he felt that Wright Pierce should possibly be the one to contact Smallwater to get exactly what they want. So as opposed to me trying to get things that Wright Pierce needs.
Wright Pierce, contact Smallwater.
Right, and then I can get the stuff that's our in-house, but
I don't have a problem with that.
just May is busy and,
They get what you need.
okay, I can,
You want me to invoices?
I have one invoice.
One invoice.
Maybe you could, they probably would do this, but encourage them to do that before our kickoff.
Oh, right, for sure.
So if they're not getting it or if there's any confusion, we can.
Yeah, no,
handle it at the kickoff.
for sure. Sorry. So I just had one from the Fitchburg for approval. I will find it for $10,187. Oops. Everybody okay with that?
I already signed it.
Okay. And then the
They
last
weren't okay with it.
thing was,
Sorry.
oops, and I forgot to put up agendas. I did work on vouchers to date with our budget, so I do have that information for you. I'm sorry, it was finished today, so.
How many vouchers is it? How many vouchers are there?
Oh,
What is it?
it's all, no, I just meant I had done any bills that have been collected.
Oh, okay,
We did all
sorry.
the Unitil and Verizon and all that stuff that had happened.
Oh,
So
good
I do
job.
have this for everyone's info, and I will try to do this for every meeting, if possible. I'll just hand this that way. This way. On the back of here is my purchase of service account, sorry. That's the one where everything comes from. The items in gold
Is it two?
are,
Oh, I just,
no,
no, I just passed out both pages. Me and John both did the same thing. We thought it was two pages. It's front to back. Nice job, Bob.
Right.
Very safe paper, Bob.
So anyway, the amounts, the balance remaining show, although right before the meeting, I got another Smallwater invoice, but anyway, that shows our figures. My concern, again, this is with purchase of service being all under one account, so it is my umbrella. We're supposed to talk about breaking it out and making it more defined, but this is usually how it goes. We're up towards the end of the year. If there's any infrastructure costs, this is the main account. So the figures up there. We did have to do some movement because of the engineering. The cost of the maintenance plans was like 23.6. The budgeted amount was 25, and then we had flow assessments. So there's movement. Anyway, it's all there for your information.
Appreciate that.
Okay.
Members' agenda inputs for future meetings?
Irrigation meters.
Again?
We need, again, until we do it. I think we can kill it. I think we're very close now.
So just leave it blanket, or just bullet point irrigation meters and
Irrigation meter policy is what I think we need to revisit, see if there's any changes that we need to make to it.
Okay. Do 514?
That's it.
514?
Well,
There's a,
look,
yeah,
I think I know what you were going to say. I mean,
probably,
you'd start to put together like a process.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, my concern, just in, that has to, the implementation
Right.
of us to switch over.
I mean, the goal would be to try to account for everything so that Barbara's not getting calls about how to go about doing things, so.
Well, and also just the interim where we've got some that are still needing
Right.
to be read, still with issues, and then others to be replaced. So as clear as we can get it as to what they need to do will be good.
Yeah, okay, so you were going to, thanks to my reading the minutes, you were going to put together a list of things, of concerns you had, so we were sure to address them.
Okay,
So
for the next meeting.
We have that for the...
Yep, I think we
Yeah.
talked about the 14th.
Yeah.
Okay, I will make
So
sure
we've
I do
got
that.
three fairly major discussions for the 14th.
Yes,
Okay, so that, right there is a fairly full agenda, right?
Well, I mean, we can move the I&I third-party review, right? We can move that to the 28th.
yep,
Because other things will come up, I'm sure.
They always do. Yeah.
okay.
Every time we leave this meeting, I always think we have like 2 agenda items for the next meeting, and then I get it. And poor Barbara has to text me and say, Joe, what are you doing?
Answer me.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Okay, any other inputs, anybody? No. You good? Any more public comment from anyone?
No?
No? Go Bruins, go Celtics.
You got it.
All right.
Next meeting's the 14th?
Yep, town meeting the 4th,
Yeah,
next
time
meeting
for you.
14th, town election the 18th, and then we meet again on the 28th.
I did see online that the Board of Selectmen on the calendar the other day, I don't know if they fixed it, for the town meeting, it said 8 PM. Yeah. I was like, I should probably email the clerk. Someone, someone's gonna walk in and be
Keep
like,
it
this
Chinese
is illegal. It says 8 PM.
It's gonna end.
Yeah, it's probably, that's what I was thinking, I'm like, oh, they know when it's gonna end. All right, motion to adjourn?
Second?
You in favor? Aye, everyone's good? Aye. Unanimous.
Thank you.